Hello, I am Wallas, the Polish toy guy. Welcome to my new video. I think we live in the age where every fan of transforming toys has heard at some point about the so-called third-party items. Toys that are heavily inspired but not officially connected to other pre-existing franchises. Some people love them, some hate them, and I can honestly say I see the point of both of these camps. One thing is certain though, these toys are very unlikely to disappear anytime soon, so I might as well show one of the few that I have in my own collection. This is Grind Rod, a transforming robot toy from 2012 created by the then newcomer Toyworld and taking heavy inspiration from Transformers Generation 1 character Throttlebot Rollbar. He was the first of 6 eventually released in his sub-series, and to me he looked like a promise of something quite interesting. Speaking of the toy as a toy, Grind Rod is a TF Deluxe sized vehicle reminiscent of Jeep Wrangler. And aside from nice car details all over his body, including a full set of painted lights, wheel rims and more, his main identifying trait is the gorgeous, vibrant green plastic that reminds me of my old Game Boy Color in a very good way. This vehicle would look nice with a different lead color scheme, but it works excellent with the kiwi green and finishing entirely painted grey touches. And despite some slight swirls being visible under certain light in the unpainted areas, the plastic quality satisfies me. Not only does Grind Rod carry a pleasing heft when in hand, but his construction feels sturdy and his vehicle mode is very solid in terms of keeping together. And being part-time toy car, he rolls really nice. Also, due to another feature, Grind Rod sports a 5mm port at each side, here in the back, and this is actually supposed to be the access for his fuel tank. And there's a gas cap inside. It's really hard to see unless you pour light directly into there, but I'll try to give some image over here. And also another 5mm port is here. His spare wheel detaches and is on such a port. So if you have other weapons with this size of the grip at your disposal, you can go a bit Rambo with this toy. And yes, there's also this mode. For some reason Toyworld decided that they need to make Grind Rod and his companions a combiner team, and what you see now is one of the Gestolt's legs. That's why Grind Rod has these 3 weapon ports so near the back of the vehicle. They are attachment points for the Gestolt's knee. Personally, I don't like this feature, as it is the reason most of the team members have their design patterns altered from the source material to accommodate this feature. But apparently there are many people in favour of this modification, and thankfully Grind Rod is the least affected by the combiner mode. And now it's time for some vehicle mode comparisons, and let's start with the aforementioned source material for Grind Rod, Transformers Generation 1 Throttlebot Rollbar. And we can also throw in some other fairly recent official Transformers of the deluxe size. So here we have Generations Blur, Generations Sergeant Cup, Reveal the Shield Special Ops Jazz, and Bumblebee from Prime Robots in Disguise. And finally, here's Xenon Guilty's special custom from Gyrosetta. Now we are ready to transform Grind Rod into his robot mode, and if you don't want to see this, I have no problem with that. Somewhere over here there will be a subtitle showing you where should you skip to actually go there already. And for the rest of us, let's transform. So, where do we start here? With removing the spare tire, which is the main, albeit very small weapon that has barrels flipping out from underneath, like so, and like so. And now we have the main arms of Grind Rod. We put it aside, and now let's begin the main transformation. And we can start off by flipping down the front grille and flipping it up so that these teeth lock into these positions, like so. And now we should undo the legs, but what I like to do is to actually flip down this part of the roof and the back of the vehicle somewhere over here, not to the end target position, but close. So you just push it down, and it's very solid in vehicle mode, but if you apply a bit more force, it actually goes out really well. You have to wiggle out this panel out so that it goes beyond this bumper piece, like so. There we go, we can flip this down and we leave it like that for the moment. We can also wiggle out the rear wheel wells, like so. This will actually help us work with the legs, like so. And speaking of the legs, they are actually connected to the main body at several points over here, and over here, and also connected to each other. So really secure, but also kind of difficult first few times. So we split the legs over here, we try to pry them out from the sides of the roof, like so, and that's why I wanted to deal with this a bit. We actually undo this lock by slightly prying these apart, like so. There we go, one released, and second released. Less locks to worry about. So now we just have to deal with these two. So we have to get here, push this down a bit, and then push it outward, like so, and this allows us to smoothly stretch out the leg. As you can see, the knee is bent inside the lower leg, so now we just straighten this out, and in my case this is still very, very tight, which I do appreciate, like so, and now we do the same thing on this side. Now it's very easy to do, like so, we stretch it out, like so, and now we collapse the front windshields. Side windows, my bad. Like so, and now we have the legs done. And here, this is going to be easier. We can start off by moving the head to its main position. It's clicky, like so, 2 positions. And now we have to move the front of the roof a bit up, so that we have enough room to wiggle out the forearms, like so. Like so, like so. And now I think we should deal with this mess. It's going to be slightly easier for us. So what we do is we actually get this panel we left alone before, and now use this double hinge to move it over here, unless it actually breaks on us, which does happen, but this is also very simple to reattach, so it's not a problem, not at all, like so. So now we collapse it like this, and as you can see, we still have enough room to work with these hinges, so we spin around these parts, like so, and they combine over here, covering this back panel a bit, and now we have a double-wheeled backpack, like so. It's actually not easy to do this on camera, but it is possible. As you can see, we have this peg and this notch, and they are mirrored over here, so that this pegs nicely. And now we can move the arm outwards, and it's actually easier if we push it out with our finger over here, like so. Well, that went a bit faster than I wanted to show, but yes, you have to push it out, and as you do, you move the chest piece out of the way so that the hand can go out. And now, yes, in slow motion you could say, we spin this outwards, spin down the forearm. Now this part that I don't really always like, because this is super tight. This panel is on a hinge that actually goes forwards, like so, and it actually, well, maybe not clicks, but it does lock into a position in some sort of way, and we repeat this over here, like so. Okay, now we can straighten out the arms, like so, and like so. Now we can move the whole construction down, and the finishing piece is to actually collapse the chest piece so that this hinge lands just beneath the grind rod's head, like so. And now the robot mode is complete. Grind rod may not be universally perceived as stunning, but definitely is thought out, and given how his source material looks, is an excellent bridge between the original G1 toy and its animation and comic book models. This is how I'd like my Generations Deluxe roll bar to look like if Hashtag found introducing throttle bots into the toy line plausible. The front of the car lower legs, the roof chest piece and semi-hood made of the back of the car, in my opinion the defining traits of the subgroup, are all present and well integrated into this form without feeling overly bulky. I don't even mind the new backpack, as it's thin and moved away from the main body enough not to hinder the toy's range of motion. And I suppose the head is also faithful to the source, but like I said, I don't consider it essential enough to bother with it too much. One thing I don't like about Grind Rod in this mode are his hands, or rather the lack of symmetry. The right one is a traditional closed fist with a 5mm hole, but the left one is a more recent half-open type. And I have nothing against either, I'd just prefer if the designers stick with only one of them, as this works against the whole figure's consistent appearance. And speaking of the hands, they have one more small problem related to Grind Rod's weapon. As you can see, its handle is fairly short, and with this panel over here, it's too short to actually go into the fist properly. So in order to actually weaponize Grind Rod, you need to pull out this panel a bit so that this front edge leaves enough space for us to attach the weapon properly, so that it stays there and also does not want to come off. And as you can see, I still have to make some adjustments. Yeah, now it stays on, but like I said, you have to push this out of the way. Also, now Grind Rod has 4 weapon ports at his disposal, so we can expand the Rambo feature even more. And one thing that I definitely like about the head is that it has really nice light piping in the eyes. As you can see right here, yeah, this is very nice light piping. And since we are near the head, we will start the posability test over here. And I'd say that Grind Rod's posability is on par with modern age deluxe Transformers. Let's start with the set head, which is on a swivel that allows it a full 360 spin, though yes, your fingers will bump into the semi-hood in the back a lot, but it's not really a problem to me. And arms are double jointed. Here at the base they are swivels, which can lower and raise the arms thanks to the transformation, and here inside the arm we have a ball joint, which is getting slightly loose on this one. Here it's still tight, and we have a swivel to the sides above the elbow, and the elbow is 90° front and 90° backwards if you need, and we have moving swivel wrists like so. Here at the waist we have side swivel, which is good. Like I said, the backpack does not obstruct this. And here we have the hips, and the hips are slightly weird to me because it seems like the bar that they are connected to is not molded with this piece, it's a separate piece. So as you can see, they will move in tandem a bit if this gets looser. We may have to tighten this up with the screw that's here on the back. It's not a biggie, it's just slightly weird. And in the thigh we have a side swivel, which is very tight here, and thanks to the transformation we have a double knee, though we will use mostly this joint above to get a nice range of motion. Also a bit to the front if you like go walks and things like this, yes. And of course the legs move forward and backwards, really nice, and you can do a full split with this toy. And there are no feet, so there's no articulation beneath the knee whatsoever. And speaking of posability, Grind Rod has one nice feature that's really easy to miss because it's on his butt. Under the screw hole you can see another square hole that's actually compatible with display stands such as Tamashi Stage, which can plug like so, and this is not the most secure connection, but it's more than enough to grant Grind Rod aerial poses. And I do like a lot when my toys are capable of pulling this off. The final feature of this toy is that it comes with this plastic collector card, which seems okay. Nothing special, but it serves its purpose. Which is more than I can say about the manual, which as you can see is based on CG models, and its main problem is that it shows the steps but not all of them and skips a few of them, simplifying them. I think the problem was that Toyworld's budget did not allow to print the manual on both sides, so they had to pack it all up so that it would fit on an A4 paper. And it's comparison time again, and this time let's start with Transformers Generations. So here we have Deluxe Warpath, and here we have Deluxe Trail Cutter. And here's Classics Deluxe Mirage, and Generations Deluxe Wheeljack. And here's Grind Rod next to his source material Generation 1 Rollbar, as well as Generation 1 Boss. And finally, here's Grind Rod next to the common Cola Can, the marvelous €1 and the magnificent $1. To sum it all up, as an individual, Grind Rod is an overall very nice toy, even with the minor hiccups taken into account. If you like transforming robot cars and you like throttle bots, I reckon he will be a good purchase for you. Especially that, in my eyes, he's the closest robot in his subgroup to the concept of updating the source material while being faithful to its design traits, and that's exactly what I was looking for with this toy. And that's all for this video review. I will be back with the next one soon. And until then, stay well.